Okay, we have a good amount of people on. I'm sure people will be joining in, but in the interest of time, I will get started. So I want to welcome everyone to our webinar today on wash, dry, fold operations from A to Z. I'm Danielle Bauer. I'm the Director of Membership and Education at the Coin Laundry Association, and I'm going to be the facilitator for today's program. But before we get started, I wanted to walk you through the webinar interface and how you can ask questions. So the interface is the gray bar that should be on the right side of your screen. If you don't see it, there's a little red orange arrow you can click and that will expand it so that you can see the full interface. Towards the bottom of that sidebar, there is an area for questions. If you don't see a space where you can type in, again, if you click the little white arrow, it'll expand it so you can type in your question. So feel free to type in your questions at any point. We're going to get through some questions that I'm going to ask the panelists first, but then we'll turn to your questions and we will try to get through as many as we can. This session will be recorded and you'll receive an email within 24 hours with the recording so that you can watch it again at your own convenience. So at this point, I want to go ahead and introduce our panelists. So first we have Ross Dodds. He's the owner of Lux Laundries in Southern California. And then we have Colleen Unima, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, owner of Brio Laundromats, and she's in Washington State. So to get started, I'm going to ask them to share a little bit about themselves. So Ross, maybe if you can get started, give us a little history about how long you've been in the industry, how many stores, how many employees, sort of your volume of wash, dry, fold, just so they can understand who our panelists are today.
Thank you. So I purchased my first laundry in 2014. Many know the story. It burned down just 5 days later. It did not start in the laundry. It was not my fault. So we rebuilt that and then purchased our second store, and they both opened January 1st, 2017. So that's when I say I kind of really started in the industry. My husband joined the laundries full-time in 2021. So we have 8 self-serve laundry and 1 facility for our pickup and delivery at this point. 2 of our laundries do fluff and fold. The rest are just self-serve, plus the pickup and delivery. And we're at just shy of 40 employees at this point across all of them. And volume-wise, in stores that do fluff and fold, we're between 5 and 7,500 pounds each. Fluff and fold, we're over 80,000 pounds. So.
Great, thank you. Colleen, if you can share a little bit about yourself.
You bet. I opened Brio Laundry in 2013. Self-serve laundromat with wash, dry, fold available for folks. And that pretty consistently has had about 8 employees, part-time, full-time. Right now we have a couple of full-time and an array of part-time. We're open 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. So that's that. In 2019, I rebuilt and opened a laundry plant for a commercial laundry and a fine garment care using water. It's dry cleaning using water. So it's called wet cleaning, but it's fine garment care. And fine garment care has a couple of full-time and probably 6 part-time people. The commercial laundry, same thing, a couple of full-time, a couple of part-time. So for pickup and delivery, we have a dedicated box truck for commercial laundry going out 6 days a week. And that goes to the bigger accounts, right? So the bigger stuff. And then we have a minivan, one minivan doing residential routes, which we started during COVID. We started that as a reaction to COVID for called Brio to Go, pickup and delivery. And we do that 5 mornings a week. So, and that gal is probably half-time. My other driver's almost full-time.
Great, thank you both. So now I'm going to go back to you, Ross. If you can kind of take us through your process of wash, dry, fold, and pickup and delivery. So kind of from the time the customer comes in and is bringing you their laundry to the point that they pick it up, or you deliver it, I guess.
So for our walk-in fluff and fold, the laundries are open 6 a.m. to midnight every day, and they can drop off anytime between that. That we have standard 24-hour turnaround, and we have same day, which depending on how many orders is, we put that at 3 to 8 hours for same day pickup. So are fully staffed all day, and then we have overlapping of an hour to 2 between each shift, and three shifts a day at the laundries. So they would drop off. It gets tagged. We are currently just on a simple square system. We're converting that here shortly, but we've been on that for a long time. It's simple, cheap, tons of options out there to look into. Definitely research and find a good partner for what you plan to do, but do use some technology. And then so that prints a ticket, which will follow the order. Right now we use a dry erase marker, or like white chalk markers, to write right on the machines the customer's name, so that we can track it through the laundry. And then it gets folded and bagged into plastic, and then it goes in our reusable tote if they're a new customer, or if they bring it back in the tote, and goes onto the shelf for pickup. We do in and out weights to track possible losses or any discrepancies with the customer, and that's about it for the drop off. Pickup and delivery adds a few more steps in there, where we partner with Wash Club Track for our software. So the drivers have iPhones to do their routing. We do commercial 7 days a week in the morning with 2 drivers, and then residential 7 days a week with 2 drivers in the PM. So we pick up between 5 to 10 p.m. depending on the zone. We have 4 zones in Los Angeles. We're pretty spread out, so we have to service a large area. And then the app with the iPhone, they'll take a picture at pickup of the bags, or if they're unable to pick up, they're taking a picture of the door to prove that we were there, what we're picking up. We tag every bag, especially if they're a new customer, because it will come in trash bags. So we buy red for dirty and picking it up, and tag every bag with the name and how many bags. And then it comes back to the laundry facility and gets sorted, updated into the computer, and then bagged similarly to our walk-in into plastic, and then into our tote bags, which will get a name tag that we print out and put on every bag, and then gets updated in the system how many bags. So when the driver goes back out, he sees how many bags he's supposed to have, and once again takes a picture at delivery.
Great. It sounds like a well-oiled system. So before I move on to Colleen, just a couple follow-ups. We did get a question from someone wanting to know, you had mentioned that you do around 8,000 pounds. They're wanting to know, is that per month or per year?
Per month. In our walk-in facilities, we're actually closer to the 5,000 to 7,000 a month. And then in our pickup and delivery with commercial, we're over 80,000.
Wow. And then one additional question. At the beginning, you said your standard is 24 hours, but if there's time, you'll do same day. Is there a premium charge for same day?
Yes, yes. So we're it's right now it's 30 cents more in one store per pound, and our other store the pricing is still lower on our 24-hour. That's getting ready to change. So right now premium would be 45 cents more because it's $2.25 for same day in our stores. Our pickup and delivery is 24-hour only, and that's $2.49 a pound.
Great, thank you. I know there are some more questions and we will get to those, but I want to now move to Colleen so we can hear your process, which I imagine is similar in some ways, but probably also different.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, Breo's located in a pretty small town, you know, a couple 100,000 people, and we're not surrounded by a metropolis. So we're surrounded by agriculture and mountains and oceans. So we're pretty trapped. So I'm going to say that. So we're doing about 4,000 pounds a month. And that's kind of my happy point. And I got to tell you, it's counterintuitive, but I script my attendants when they see certain customers come in, maybe with a down comforter and they want to drop it off, or they have smaller things. We actually try to flip them and turn them into a self-serve customer. So I know this whole topic is about wash, dry, fold, but the margin is better for me on those machines. And lots of times they've come in because they really don't know what to do. They're thinking dry cleaning, but they know it shouldn't be dry cleaned. It's just laundry. And so we have all the soaps, all the cycles, and we try to turn them into a self-serve customer. So we kind of have these benchmarks per day of what we are looking for wash, dry, fold. That's a happy number. And about 4,000, you know, 120 pounds a day, 200 pounds max per day is what we're after, so that my attendants can actually take care of all the customers in the store. They do a lot of selling. We sell a lot of products. So they're busy doing that, and I'd rather have them do that. So I'll say that. Here's how it goes. A customer comes in, we weigh it just like everybody else, and they prepay for that weight, the soiled weight. It's a prepay. They get a ticket, tells them what the price was, how many pounds, and when to come back. So they leave. We call it drop and dash. You know, drop it off and dash out the door. Most of them put a card on file, and when we do that, we pretty much know we've snagged a repeat customer when they put their card on file. And then once it's started to be processed, right, we have a cell number for this person. If we find a piece of dry cleaning, we'll just snap a photo, quick text them, hey, would you like this dry cleaned? We'll outsource this for you. If we see stains or, you know, things that look really odd, we'll take photos and attach it to that digital file, because we don't want any problems later, or we want to know how we can best help them, right? Software is by role. So it comes in, it gets binned, and there's a number attached to it. So we may split it up into loads right then and there coming out of the basket on the scale, right? And print enough tickets, not receipts, but tickets that match the customer information. Maybe they want scent free, so it goes in each of these little laundry bags. And now we're in the soiled side of our area, so it goes in the major laundry truck in queue for laundering. The person who launders it might be the next person on the next shift, right? So they go in, they look at the bin, and they say, okay, I've got this much laundry to do. I'm going to pull this one out of the bin and start it. And then they are tracked using our software. They actually were the person who washed it. Their shift might come to an end, and they've washed, dried, and this process is all tracked through the software. And then they may not be the one who actually wraps it up and bundles it and puts it on the shelf. That person also has to enter their little information in the system. So, excuse me. So once it's bundled and packaged and it's staged behind our counter for pickup, a customer comes in and most of the time they don't have their ticket. That's long gone. They're used to these, what's your phone number? Look it up by phone number. Oh, let me get your thing. And then it's clicked as picked up. We wrap, we don't have bags or anything. We wrap in paper with ribbon and note cards and everything. So my attendant actually comes around the counter and hands them their package, or if it's older folks, we'll cart it out for them. That's kind of the process.
Thank you. There was one question before I move on. Oh, you had mentioned that your attendants, you encourage them to be selling products, and someone's asking what are they selling? So what type of products do you sell?
Well, like you can see behind me, we sell probably 20 to 25 different brands of mostly exclusive laundry soaps or specialty soaps. Everything from silk to swimwear to wool, rugs, anything. So people come in and they may just come in and buy soap because they want it for their home. We have soaps for hard water, soft water, dog beds. We got it all.
Wow.
So they're selling products, yeah.
So I'm trying to look at my questions and the questions people are asking, and I think this is a good one that maybe both of you could share. Someone wants to know, what is the demographics of your average customer? So are they homeowners with a machine, or most of them apartment dwellers that don't have a machine? So maybe Ross first, what's the demographics of your average wash, dry, fold, fluff and fold customer?
So in Los Angeles, for our walk-in versus our pickup and delivery, slightly different, but I usually pin her, I say her, but we probably are 70-30 women versus men, but she's early 30s to early 40s, yoga active, and LA, almost everybody lives in apartments or condos. All the new buildings tend to have washer and dryer, but that's just not a time, something that our average customer is going to bother with.
So
yeah, go ahead.
As I mentioned, we're pretty rural. So we have homeowners that come in, and very interestingly, we've kind of watched. There really is not a demographic change between our self-serve customer and our pickup and delivery or our wash, dry, fold customer. In fact, I would hazard a guess, I'll bet at least half of my regular customers in the store have tried the wash, dry, fold and will use it by circumstances. That's how our demographic changes. Maybe they had knee surgery. I'm going to arrange pickup and delivery, or they're going out of town and they want everything done for the family quickly, and away they go. So we don't see like a demographic difference. We kind of joke that if they carry a Visa, they're our customer. And that's really true. I mean, I had the whole study done of who they are, and it's basically a Visa. That's my customer. So that demographic, they're homeowners, they have their own laundry. It's convenience, and circumstance. Interestingly, our pickup and delivery is arranged by one group for another. So this is, I think, a market that is vastly undersold by our industry. And they live in assisted living or independent living, or they live at home and they have home health care. Well, their kids don't always live by them, right? They've got out of town family and who want to help them. And so we've made it really easy. So they can set up an account, put that credit card on file, and our driver, goes to their assisted living, meets them in the lobby, does their laundry, the bathroom rugs, whatever it is they might need, or to their home. So it's like, there's a middleman, and it's that son or daughter or friend who's trying to help somebody maybe with cancer or or whatever, but we've made that very easy, and we have a lot of people who come in on for somebody else.
Yeah, that's a that's a great market. All right, so you guys talked about your process from beginning to end, and you touched on this a little, but maybe in a little more detail. So for you, Russ, for someone who's starting Wash Dry Fold, what are sort of the basic supplies, materials, and technology that they need to have on hand to get started? And in addition, what kind of storage space?
This storage is definitely a challenge. We were very fortunate in our first store that burned down. We took over one of the little spaces, or 700 square feet, I guess, space next door, and that is our fluff and fold area. We've had another store that had an office smaller than this area that I'm sitting in. So you do have to get creative sometimes when you're in a smaller store that you're adding fluff and fold into. I mean, maybe in some markets it's different, but I would say definitely keeping it out of hands reach from people is important. I mean, you don't think anybody's going to steal, and then they do. But I would research heavily on what point of sale you're going to use. There's a lot of options. Definitely look at what's available. Talk to people on the Facebook forums, the CLA forums, somewhere to kind of get some suggestions and do multiple meetings to get how the software works. And then I would say our biggest thing that we've been doing the last probably year and a half is really trying to get more organized with where we're getting all of our supplies, because when we started it was just 2 stores, so I could go anywhere and I was doing all the shopping. Now at this point, if I have to go shopping, it practically takes a day, and I need 1 or 2 vans to do it. So now I'm trying to find all the places that I can source from that can ship. Sam's Club, Costco. If you're just doing a smaller starting up, obviously when we get into our facility, we work with a chemical company and they deliver weekly. But Sam's and Costco is probably the most universal across the country for most people, and both of them will ship business for free over a certain amount. So try different brands. Again, you don't have to be hooked to one brand at first, but I would start to figure it out. In the beginning, customers are only aware of kind of what they're used to seeing, what they see when they walk through the grocery store. Doesn't mean that's what you have to use. Just be able to explain what you're using and where they can look for more information if they would like or not, and have a regular detergent, a hypoallergenic detergent, and at least one softener. We used to do more. We're simple now. It's a regular detergent, 1 free and clear, 1 dryer sheet, 1 fabric softener. If you do free and clear, you're not getting fabric softener, you're not getting dryer sheets. And that works for us because again, as the customer gets used to you and gets accustomed to what the service is, then they don't really care how it's processed. When they first come in, they think they know what they want because of how they do it or what they're used to. But if it's folded very nice and it smells good and you're getting stains out or whatever, they don't generally care how it happened. That's why they're using you. They're eliminating that from their schedule. So we focus heavily on the customer service side and the quality control, and the rest just kind of falls into place when you meet those ones. But fluff and fold is very easy to, people make mistakes. You mix orders, you lose an order. I mean, anything can happen, especially when you're in your laundromat with regular self-serve customers. Colleen touched on it, like she likes a max coming in every day in the store, because you start going over a certain amount, and if you don't have extra staff there, it is very quickly, customers think they use this dryer and they were actually over here, and they'll be like, somebody stole my stuff, and it's like, no, it's actually over here. But they'll do the same thing with the fluff and fold order. They'll take the fluff and fold order and walk out the door thinking it was theirs, and now we've got their stuff, and they might not look at it for days. I mean, you just never know. The list is endless. So it is important to not get too much, especially if your main business is self-serve. Make sure you're not upsetting your self-serve customer just to try to start this new avenue.
So Colleen, anything to add as far as supplies, materials, like the things that you really need to have to get started, and storage?
Yeah, I'm gonna touch on that storage, because we vastly underestimated how much wash, dry, fold space would take and how secure it needed to be. Especially if you're gonna do two at the same time, right? You're gonna do the delivery people, and you're gonna have, and that goes out every day, every morning at 8, right? And you've got your wash, dry, fold that are gonna walk in, and you've got the mix, people who had it picked up, oh my gosh, I need it before they can bring it back, I gotta come pick it up. So where are those stored? And we use these U-line rolling metal racks with the canvas covers that have a little lock on them. They're zippered, and so customers we might roll them out for the driver to use, that we put all the to-go orders on there by the big garage door, but customers can't see it, can't get in it.
Can't steal it.
Right, and then those can just go back into the storage room when the outgoing are done for the day, right? And so that gives attendants someplace to put the to-go order in the reusable bags, whatever they're in, to keep them separate from the pickup, the walk-in people. The other thing I would say is, when you're setting up for wash, dry, fold is, and I think the pandemic brought this out for a lot of folks, is how are you cleaning the space you're working in? If you follow protocols for commercial laundry, you've got a dirty area and a clean area. So to the best, I think, of everybody's ability, we really need to take some of this to heart. If you've got a table where you are pre-treating and in-processing soiled laundry, have a cleaning protocol that has to go in between now folding laundry. So we have two areas, and the soiled area never sees clean laundry, and the clean laundry doesn't see soiled laundry. But if you're using the same space, you've got to build into your training protocols how to disinfect and clean. And I think some of our customers have become very aware of that. They want to know what we do to protect their laundry. And then again, technology, same thing. Do your research, find what works for you, and that you find easy to train your attendants.
Thank you. So we talked a little bit about, sort of the process, but I want to turn to the people. So you both touched on that you have, multiple employees, but specifically for your wash, dry, fold processors, are there certain characteristics you would look for in those people? And what are the best ways you found to train them on this whole process? So Ross, you want to start?
I mean, I think staffing is always the largest challenge. I was just listening to Luke and Lee Williford's podcast this morning, and they were talking about staffing. I mean, I think the biggest thing is we try to build a team. They're team members. They're not just employees. We want them to stay. We want to have advanced opportunities for them, and spend the time in the beginning to make sure they're a good fit with the culture, and that they're going to want to grow with you. And that they treat every customer just like you would. It goes to the customer service. If they're not interested in the customer, then they're not going to be interested in their clothes. And we want them to be interested in all of that because it makes the business better. It makes their contribution better and their job more secure. So
I learned from a fellow laundromat owner. She has laundries down in California. And she said, hey, you know, look for people who have been working in the hotel or the hospitality industry. And that cued me in because, and then we did hire a gal who worked for, came from a local hotel. And they're under the gun when they flip a room. Man, they know how to move through systems quickly. And they know how to follow protocols. And they know how to keep moving from one to the next. And that was like a little light bulb moment for us. We're a small area. We don't really have that many hotels with that many people moving around. So if I find them, that's great. But we look for a couple of things in our employees. One is, it sounds absolutely crazy, but if we see that they have played on a team sport at any point, we're pretty excited because it's all about the group endeavor. We're all in it together. This is not, even though they work alone and own the whole store when they're there and they're working the store, meeting customers and doing laundry, they still are part of a team. And it's that same thing what Ross said, that we all try to do, I think really hard, is to create a team atmosphere. But being on a team, we've gone through the records, like what is it about our successful ones, and they were on a team sport. Other than that, we look for some retail experience, but for training, I was doing all this wash, dry, fold training and then realized, goodness, there's got to be a better way. So we are putting together a learning management system that's online for the laundry piece. And then we do extensive customer relational training because we have a high priority on touched points with our customer, trying to get return customers on every level.
Thank you. So the last question I'm going to ask before I turn to, we have a lot of questions from attendees, but the last thing I want to touch on is marketing. So maybe if you can each share just some simple things that maybe you do to market the wash, dry, fold, pickup and delivery to the community.
So for our pickup and delivery, AdWords is big for us. We do SEO and Facebook and Instagram. For our drop-off, fluff and fold, and for our self-serve laundromats, we do Facebook and Instagram, and we're just beginning with geo-targeting. But Facebook is definitely the cheapest. You can do it yourself. I think we've seen over the years, it doesn't have to be a production, personable. It can just, even if it's just a quick video of you walking into your laundry. I'm not good at it. I don't do it enough. Follow Luke, you'll see he's always videoing himself and walking up to a customer and talking to them. When we have pictures or posts that are with my husband Russell or myself in our laundry, it gets twice as many views as any post we talking about a laundry tip or something. The community loves when we're showing that what we're doing in the community. So with fluff and folds, obviously it's a little more service because they're leaving it with you. But if you already have a presence with the laundry, then you already have those followers. When you start the fluff and fold, like Colleen said, you'll have people that use you because of something happening in their life or a need, and they'll switch back and forth. But we don't necessarily have exclusive fluff and fold versus self-serve customers in our laundromat. Our pick and delivery obviously is a little bit different. But so we market to all our customer base, not just to try to get a Fluff and Fold customer, because they'll end up being both a lot of times.
I think, Ross, you're underselling your video capabilities because you do have a very nice video. I think it's on your website that you talk a lot about what you're doing in the community. So I would highly recommend that anybody check that out. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. I didn't produce it, which was nice that we got to be a part of that organization that does videos like that with different organizations, and it was a lot of fun. It was great.
Yeah, it was well done. So Colleen, what about you? What do you do as far as marketing for your business?
First, there's kind of 3 parts to it, but the first one is, if you don't come up on the top for wash, dry, fold near me or laundry pickup near me, I mean, do it yourself. Take Siri and ask your phone. And if your laundry didn't come up, you're not in the running. It's kind of that simple. And that's SEO from your website. That's all it is. It's search engine optimization, and we all are doing it. How do I get somewhere, and where do I go? And laundry has to be part of that. And if you don't know, talk to your website people and find out what the analytics are on your website for answering those searches. And maybe you have work to do for your website, but I maintain that. We meet regularly to make sure on any possible search string, I am number 1. And that's what drives traffic is, oh, well, there it is. And then they'll go to the reviews, right? So managing your reviews is marketing. Asking for reviews is marketing. We also do we call it just guerrilla type marketing. We will go to the people in the store and say, hey, if you have a loved one who needs our services, we do laundry here. Because a lot of people don't realize that we do that. They don't even know what's happening because it's behind the counter. So it just, oh, you do, yeah, my mom had knee surgery or back surgery. Well, here's a discount for them and here's one for you too. It's just I guess they call it relational marketing, right? But we just call it, just getting out there. We're trying to be like hyper local. We partner, each store or division is partnered with a nonprofit because I believe in giving back to the community, like lots of us do, Ross included, but also because it gives you something to talk about. Anybody can talk about the machines or we're clean. Okay, well, once you're past clean, now what? If they believe you're clean and they know you're clean, now what? Well, we do all the laundry at the laundromat. We do all the laundry for the Boys and Girls Club. And that's a big deal. And so we go to their events, we buy tables at their auctions, and it's just awareness. So that's our marketing, is really about awareness, that we're there for them.
Great tips from both of you. All right, I'm going to now turn to questions so that we're going to attempt to try to get through some of these. First one is directed at you, Ross. At the beginning, you mentioned that you had purchased your laundromats that have the fluff and fold. So was the process in place for how you do it, or did you actually determine and put that process in place?
Yeah, none of our laundromats have had fluff and fold when we purchased them. So we started that from scratch. We've had a store where it's built very slow. Like our most recent store, Fluff and Fold, took a better part of a year. We actually had even taken out staff in the afternoon time to be unattended for a few hours to cut back on payroll. And then we started running specials. I'm not huge on time of day pricing or anything like that, but we ran a fluff and fold special, and ended up increasing monthly on our price very slowly, to now we do more fluff and fold in that store than our other store that's been open for years. And we're up to full price now. So there's challenges with starting it for sure, but if you have the staff there already, then it's just a matter of getting the processes in place to make sure how you're tracking and staying organized.
The next question, and I guess either one of you could answer this. They want to know how you prevent sort of that sticker shock for pickup and delivery customers, since they may not know the weight priced before they are charged. I don't know how you handle that, if you give some sort of estimate at the beginning, or.
I just actually posted about this in the Facebook forum. I mean, it's difficult because, I mean, we're weights and measure regulated here in California. That would be really hard for us to take a regulated scale with us. Plus, frankly, if you're scheduling that service, in my opinion, you need to have some sort of level of understanding that it is a premium service. There's no question about it. We're not driving to your house to find out that, oh crap, I thought I had 4 pounds and I have 800 pounds. Like, it's just like, I can't help with common sense these days. So unfortunately, it doesn't happen very often. When it does happen, it sends me to the roof and back. We have an order right now. She says she has no way of paying. And she's like, are you bringing it back? No, I'm not bringing it back. It was 290 pounds. You thought you were sending $15? Like, I can't help you. I mean, I'll give her a discount at some point if she wants to just settle this out. But she hung up on me. So we'll keep her closed for 30 days and then we'll donate them. It's a business. Don't come to the business. You don't go out to, I mean, I guess you know how much dinner is when you go, but I mean, it's a service that you're paying for. Plan on paying. That's all.
Right. Well, like you said, you know, it's a premium. So as a restaurant, you know, when you go to a nicer restaurant, it's going to be a higher price. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Colleen, do you have experience with this as well?
Same thing. We can't take a scale on the road, weights and measures. So yes, it's real, but our driver actually will, you know, pick it up, and if they're behind the screen door, or if they're out there, like, yeah, it feels like about 15, 20 pounds, whatever it is. But we have a minimum anyway, so we're like, you know, it's got to be 20 pounds. I mean, we're going to charge you for 20, so stuff that bag. And we tell them, you know, hey, a laundry, you know, little laundry basket is probably 10 pounds, you know, kind of. So yeah, it's kind of a thing, you know. If we were to use a bag and say we charge by the bag, I think they would, you know, compress
overstuff the bag.
Unbelievable. But I think that works. So for a lot of people, that works. And actually, I think the numbers bear that out, because most people actually put way less in a bag, you know, a prepaid one number bag. Hey, it's $50 no matter what you give us. They actually do put less in than probably the 20 pounds that I'm requiring.
So this is directed at you, Ross. You had talked about that you track the bags by putting a wristband on it, and they're wondering any issues with you know, the wrist bags coming off during movement of bags, or any concern with that?
No, I mean, they're designed for the clubs. If you've ever had one at the club, you're trying to rip it off. I mean, no, if they're actually stuck on correctly, you practically need scissors to get them off. So we've been using those for a long time now, just for our pickup and delivery, not in the laundry. So
you're right about that. Anytime I have one of those on, I can never get them off without scissors. So the next question is, so the stores that have the wash, dry, fold for you, Ross, and for Colleen, your stores, what is your average turns per day?
With our the stores that we do fluff and fold in happen to be our busier stores too. And we're in California, so a little bit higher. We're between 6 and 9 turns per day. We have some smaller self-serve stores that just do 3 to 4. And we remodel all of our stores when we buy them, so a lot of them end up being closed for a while. We have a real small one that opened, I don't know, 6 months ago, and that probably is still only at 2 to 3 turns. So we do have smaller volume stores, but typically after a year and a half, we're seeing volume go up over 5 turns a day.
We're at about 8 turns, up to 9, sometimes inching a little above. And that's just the self-serve customer.
Let's see. Someone is asking what type of scale you're using to weigh for the drop off.
I have a scale that it has to be inspected every year, so it has to be from market, and it displays toward the customer and the attendant, and then the attendant is instructed to state the whole number, right? Everything's up. If it's like 26.7, it's going to come in at 27 pounds. So they'll say this is 27 pounds. And then say, really, look at the scale. I didn't make it up. So we don't have ours USB connected. I wish we did. If I had to tell anybody out there, man, get a scale that USB connects to your point of sale system.
Yeah, we're not USB connected either. It would be nice. We round up or down also. If you're USB connected, it's just what it is. But yeah, we have to be weights and measure compliant. So you just have to make sure Amazon or Uline is probably going to be your best bet, but it has to be weights and measure approved. Or what's the US, not USB. I want to say US. Well, there's a sticker that needs
sticker on there, and then there's one what is something CC. And it means it can be used for commerce. It's approved for commerce. So just like a scale in a grocery store. If you're going to determine a weight and a price, you've got to prove that you have accurate weight.
If you find it for $50, it's probably not approved. They're expensive. There's no doubt about it. They start at about usually $2 or $2.50, I think, is what I usually end up paying. In our facility, we have a roll-up scale on the floor, so that's like $2,000. But yeah, they're a couple $100 usually.
Let's see. What neither of you mentioned this, but I'm just going to ask: do either of you offer any type of subscription service? Or I know, Colleen, you talked about you have a minimum price per bag. I don't know if you do, Ross. So they're asking a set price per bag or a subscription service.
You want to go first, Colleen?
I will. We do not have a subscription service. I love the idea. I think there's that going forward. I just see a huge market because a lot of our orders have dry cleaning in them, and we own the dry cleaners, so it works really easily. It's really quick and fast. It's all good. I could see that really being the way to go. There's probably, I'm 6 half dozen. We just started with weight. If we were to move to a per bag, because I think in the last few years, some of the Cleaner Supply has some nice bags, with the drawstring tops. They're made for pickup and delivery. I think that has come a long way. I think it'd work. I like that idea.
So in our laundromats, we're $20 minimum. I like using dollars. people don't understand weight as well. And we don't have any subscriptions or anything for in the laundries. We do have a point system. So every $15 they earn one point. Every 10 points they get $5 off. It's kind of like Starbucks. So our bigger customers will earn a reward every time they come, and our smaller ones will get there eventually. So I like that. For our pickup and delivery, minimum is $38.99 now. We've gone up a couple of times. And our software launched last year as a subscription option. So they have 3 different plans that they can choose from that just give them up to 3 pickups a month, up to a certain weight, and then it kicks into the standard after they use up the subscription. I wouldn't know how to launch that without it being built into the software. That would be hard to track. So we launched it when the software launched it for us.
I would say too, we have 2 types of commercial laundry that I think most laundromats will come across. And but the first one is more typical, and it's the massage therapist or the hair salon, and they walk in the door with a bag on a Friday and they want it back Monday morning, let's say. And it's the sheets and towels maybe from a massage place. And because we actually do a little agreement with them, we just call it a memo. They're going to bring it in every Friday, and it's not a subscription, but they get a discount because they're bringing it in regularly, and we can count on that 50 pounds to be done on that Saturday. So we've got lots of those. The bigger ones are the big truck picks up, and that's a whole different deal.
Yeah, getting into a commercial is different.
So we're getting near the end. So I'm trying to, I see the same question asked a couple of times. So I think we'll probably end with this one. So I think many people are wondering how important wash, dry, fold is, meaning what percentage of your business is wash, dry, fold versus self-serve?
I would say I actually don't suggest most people to do wash, dry, fold. I know this is about wash, dry, fold, but especially if you're not already a fully attended laundry and you think you're going to add wash, dry, fold and make money, you're actually probably going to lose money because even in our busy stores, yes, we're fully attended now because of that, but we're barely breaking even with payroll. So I have to back out how much staff I would need there if we were semi-unattended and just self-service. But the percentage that we're making is minimal once we do break even, really. So it's not necessarily what percentage is the fluff and fold for my stores a part of income. It's not really. It's more so about having the staff there to help the self-serve customers. So it's balancing that out. I think there are stores that can certainly do a ton of fluff and fold. I've seen them on P&Ls that they're half of their income. We're more high volume self-serve, so we're never going to hit half of our volume. Our pickup and delivery is a totally different animal. That started in one of our stores, and we quickly had to move it out of our stores because we were just running 24/7, and during the day with self-serve, we were really upsetting the customers more and more. So that is its own business now and operates as, but fluff and fold, actually in new stores I'm buying, I'm not putting fluff and fold in. It changes the entire business model and what's needed of your time, what's needed of staff time. So I don't add it lightly.
Good advice.
We watch it carefully because we focus on that self-serve customer. So when it inches up for us, if it inches toward 25% of gross for a month, this sounds crazy, but we raise prices to like quell the flow. Like we don't want that much. right? I want those people to be doing laundry in my store. If we'll extend hours in the day, well, we will add maybe staff to do stuff so we have more customer interaction, but we limit how much we do. We don't want to chase out our customers for us to do our laundry in that machine, right? So they come in at 4 a.m., they're doing their 100 pounds or whatever it is for the day, and more keeps coming in. We raise that price. So we squelch the flow. People love wash, dry, fold, I tell you. And that's again like what started our commercial. We built that commercial laundry because you get all these small commercials accounts and you got to do them, and you can't have time. And so now now they can all go there.
Yeah.
What you were both saying seems to be sort of common, that people, even though a lot of people are, offering wash, dry, fold or wanting to start it or grow it, that the self-service is really the main, crux of the business. So very good advice. So thank you so much to both of you. We've done several wash, dry, fold programs, but I think I learned some things today that I have not heard before. So hopefully our attendees felt the same. So in the last couple of minutes, I just want to share a few additional resources that CLA has on wash, dry, fold. In case you needed a little bit more after today's program. So the first one is we have a white paper on developing a wash, dry, fold business. We offer white papers in many different areas of the business. They're all written by people like Ross and Colleen, so experts in the business. If you're a CLA member, you can go to the members only library and download any one of those. They're fairly short, 20 pages or so, but lots of good information. We also have done several other webinars on different aspects of wash, dry, fold and pickup and delivery. So here's a few of them. If you're interested in commercial accounts, we had one specifically on stain buster techniques for wash, dry, fold. So again, all of those are available in our online store. Most of them are an hour-long, pretty similar format to today's program. And then lastly, we talked a little bit about training your staff. We do have a training kit, so training video for drop-off laundry. It also includes a little guide on stain removal. Again, that's available in our e-store, $39 for members and $45 for non-members. Last thing I just wanted to share is some of our upcoming programs. So we are continuing to do one virtual program a month. Topics vary. So in May, I'm pretty excited about this one. We are doing innovative designs in laundromat. So we have a few laundromat owners. One has a full diner with burgers and beer attached to it. Another guy just opened one that is completely sustainable, green in South Carolina. So we're gonna have them take a little tour through their laundry and talk about some of the things that they did that are a little more innovative. So I think that's gonna be kind of a fun program. In June, we're doing a virtual program that is a pre-event to the Clean Show. So most people are aware that the Clean Show finally is coming back. It's been pushed off with COVID, but it's finally coming back in July in Atlanta. And we are doing a women's luncheon for women in self-service. Does not mean men can't attend, but the focus is on women in that industry. And our keynote speaker is going to do a 1-hour pre-virtual event. It's free. She's going to kind of give us a little preview and also let people get to know each other before Clean Show. So all of those events, you can register on our website and find more information. So just a reminder, in case you didn't hear at the beginning, today's program was recorded, so you can go back and listen to it as many times as you want. You'll get an email within 24 hours with the recording. And there will also be a evaluation, a very short evaluation, which we appreciate any feedback, specifically any topics you're looking for us to talk about. So with that, I want to thank Ross and Colleen for spending an hour of their afternoon with us and sharing their expertise. And I found out they will both be at Clean Show, so I'm very excited to see both of you in July. So thank you very much. Hope everyone has a great day.